Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Trixks illustration channel. Today I decided I'd tackle a challenge that has been taunting me from afar for a little while now on Twitter and Instagram, and that is Copic's official Colors of the Month challenge. Each month of the year they release a selection of 3 colors they challenge artists to work with, and more recently they've actually started giving out the equivalent color codes for digital artists to challenge themselves as well. So like my 2-color Umbreon art challenge, I decided to throw my hat in the ring and see what I could come up with using Copic's April colors. Here are the Copic marker numbers and hex codes for anyone that wanted to join me in this challenge to see what you guys can come up with as well. So given I'm diving into the challenge somewhat late into the month, I've already seen a bunch of other artists' works shared on Copic's hashtag, so I knew for one I wanted to definitely try something you wouldn't really think of straight away. For one, anything to do with watermelon was automatically deleted from my mind because that just made the challenge hungry part of me roll their eyes and say duh. Funnily enough, the colors also gave me some Bailey J vibes as well, but if I'm gonna do YouTuber artist fan art one day, I know I don't want to be restricted by a color palette, so that moment of inspiration was also swept to the side. From there, I can't quite remember what made me think of it, but I brought up a list of Pokemon sorted by their colors and scrolled through it till I found my perfect subject. Now, this was not planned. As I'm recording my commentary just now, I've only just realized that I've done back-to-back Pokemon in both my restricted color palette challenges. Wow. That's wow. Oh well, too late now. Anywho, I could see April's 3 colors so clearly in Gardevoir that when I saw her I knew right away she was perfect. So unlike my Umbreon piece, for this occasion I decided I wanted to restrict myself only to normal layer treatment, so no multiply or screen color variations were to be used. With that rule in place, I started to sketch down my Gardevoir in the pale pink color, keeping myself restricted to only the colors I was given to work with, even in this early stage to make sure I behaved. I mean, sure, most traditional artists wouldn't have to bother with that kind of thing, just working with your average pencil and fine liner, but as a digital art challenge, I considered it only fair. So the rule of thirds grid was my guide in how I wanted her to be laid out on the canvas, while I gave her a graceful form and sense of motion like a leaping dancer, which seemed appropriate. It was funny, before I looked up references for her, I didn't know Gardevoir had legs underneath her drapey skirt. I thought she was just a floating body from the waist up. I'm glad she did end up having some form of legs though, as they definitely added a bit more elegance to the piece, even though said legs are basically just long pointed stilts. But hey, they're pretty stilts. From pink sketch to green line art, I did a cleaned up layer of dynamic line art before I started laying down the color. I laid down the initial darker green color in the places it's used in her design, but to add a bit more dimension into her shape, I used the pale green to bring back some of the light where it would hit the most with a soft textured brush, alternating between the 2 greens to define her as much as I could. Then I used the pink to color her eye in that weird petal thing that appears to spear right through her for some reason before I started to lay down pale green on the white of her body, which I thought worked perfectly as a shading color against it while also a good highlighter on the pink areas. I very lightly deepened up a few areas of shadow with the dark green and a brush of white to add a few highlights like a white gel pen would to finish her up before I did a nice soft and quick background behind her with a scattering of pink petals to finish this challenge off strong. Overall, she turned out great, and I definitely can see myself doing a few more Copic Colors of the Month challenges in the future to keep me sharp. I made a promise to myself not to do another Pokemon for my next color challenge, so you guys can call me out if I forget. I'd also be interested to see what you guys can do with the same colors. You can share your work with me here or on my Discord or any of my social media anytime. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to flick that like button or leave a comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I upload every fortnight, and feel free to check out some of my other videos in the meantime. See ya!